I was born the son of a truck driving mother. On son of a gun. Back to the drawing board. Storytelling time. Hey guys, welcome back. We're working outside today. Working on old Harry. We're gonna do a couple little updates on this thing. The last time I drove it was the snow recovery car in the ditch down the road here, and that was the first time I've actually drove this truck any distance at all on the road, and did okay, except it's got a lot of bumps here, and that's because it has a stock pitman arm on it. The drag link is at an angle, and the caster's a little bit out of whack, so I'm going to put a drop pitman arm on it. And also I'm going to try to lower or remove my swinging shackle mount here. I'm going to cut them off and shorten them up so we don't have 2.5 inch distance here. We're going to take it up here to about a 1. It'll lower the front down a little bit, but it'll help lay the ball joints back, get our caster angle a little bit better, so it'll drive a little bit better down the road. I don't plan on taking this thing on any trips or anything, but when we do have to get it on the road, I want it to be just a tad bit safer. So let me get my tools rounded up, and we're doing it outside because we got too much going on in here with the other trucks, and with the boom on the back, you can't get it in there anyway. So let me fiddle around here and get tools and a little light ready, and we'll get started on this truck. Well, I had a little success with that. I got this factory pitman arm off. This is what I'm going to replace it with. I had to get the puller on here and beat, and luckily that came off. It's probably original, never been off before, so luckily I didn't break my puller. A lot of times the guy breaks his pitman arm puller getting that off there, but it came off good. I'm gonna what else I need to do? Well, put that back on, of course, but I'll be right back. I'll get another tool, I believe. Yeah, this is the tool I was gonna go get. And spectacle covers. I see so many people grinding and hammering on chisels without any safety glasses on. Come on, guys. You only got 2 eyes. It'll last you the rest of your life. Man, I don't want to lose mine. I've had stuff in my eyes that ain't no fun. But I want to get this track bar. The factory Super Duty track bar bracket is still on here. It's been deleted with a torch at one point, and it doesn't move anything or flop around, but it's in my way a lot of times. I forgot to take the bolt out while my tie rod was off, or my drag link was off the pitman arm, and I remembered it once I got it back on, and I'm not going to take it back off. So we're just going to lob that thing off with the death wheel real quick. More pieces for the scrap pile. Yeah, there we go. All right, well, now I gotta get some more tools out. I think last time I did this, I was able to take my bottle jack, put it between the frame and the spring. That way I can take my bolts out, and that'll be my jack stand to hold up the leaf spring in the truck, and we can just lob these deals off and trim them down to where we want them at. All right, that's next. Hold on. I was born the son of a truck driving mother.
All right, sir. I got your Papa Wash shirt. Awesome. Classic Oldsmobile shirt.
Yep, right there. Whoa, jacking it. Yes. Looking at the back of my head, huh? Entertaining. What are you doing up there? Come on. Down here. He doesn't like to hang out with me with the loud tools and all. Big baby. Come on, get on there. Oh, that wasn't tight at all. Yep, that's right. Yep, same size. That one was tight. Come on. There, you got it. See if it come out. Oh. Get out of there. Next. Got him. Little spacer. These are rear shackles, by the way. Work just fine. What is on me? I believe that was the wife's hair. You guys ever have that issue? Put your nice, fresh, clean, folded shirt on first thing in the morning, and you keep doing this, and you can't find it. Yeah, it's a hair that long in your armpit of your shirt, and it's tick on your arm, or it's on your ear, your collar of your shirt, your underwear. You feel some kind of discomfort. Here it comes. It's an everyday occurrence around here, ain't it? Yeah, you got your ball. Yeah. Anyway, ran over. I'm gonna get the grinder. May have to get the old the old hacksaw Jim Duggan out to get these welds in here. We'll find out here in a minute. What? Yeah, I got that first one off. Cut this outside weld with the cut-off wheel, and then the ends, and I bent it over a little bit where I can get all the way through to the back side, and then broke it off. Those were welded on. Ow. Those were welded on with the Hobo freight welder, and the cheapest one you can buy has gas, solid wire. Not that one. That one's a major pile of steaming dog doo. But the other one I had just like it. It ran, did good. Welded those on 2 years ago. Anyway, I want to show you guys something I acquired yesterday. Yeah. New to me, Snap-on MIG welder. YA212A, whatever that means. It works. It's ugly as sin. I had to work on the gas valve on it. The solenoid valve wasn't closing, and so it was leaking gas as soon as you turn the gas valve on the tank. But it does weld, and it adjusts. And what little bit of testing I did, I think I'm going to be happy with it. And it's not going to be a major pile of shit like the other one. But we'll end up trying it out here in a little bit when we redo these front shackle mounts. Alright, laying under here on my back, my fat ass. Got the welds ground off there with the grinder. And that's one of the handiest things I ever made, was a battery-powered grinder. I struggled for many years needing to cut something over at the barn. It's like, how in the hell am I going to get power over here? Anyway, storytelling time. This involves a grinder. That's why using the grinder reminded me of the video, or the story. Anyway, first time I ever cussed in front of my dad using the MF word was using a grinder. We were working on his old weld rig trailer. Need a new hitch on it, which, by the way, I still have that trailer. It's my firewood hauling trailer. But it has the V hitch on the front, so your tongue goes in, has a V in it. And I don't know what the situation was, but we were putting a new hitch on or something, whatever. I was grinding. He told me, I was early teenager. He told me to grind a slag or weld or something out of the inside of that hitch. I had it flipped upside down, so I was grinding inside that V. Had my safety glasses on, grinding on it. He was doing something else there beside me, and a piece of hot slag came up and hit me in the lip, and golly, I threw that grinder down, flipping that piece of hot slag out of my lip. MFS, son of a... He just turned, looked, laughed. He said, hurts, don't it? Yes, it does. Didn't get in trouble. He knew it hurt. Anyway, that's my story for tonight. All right, I'm going to get this shackle mounted back in here. Out of the way. Silly dog. You silly dog? You silly dog. Should we tighten it up? Yeah, we'll snug her down. That'll help us a little bit. Yep. Get on there. Look out, you ain't gonna like this. Too tight? Yeah, no. Just right. Can we reuse them? That is the question. It'll be close. It will be close. Run that dude in there. Oh. Too much. There we go. Get that back in there. Well, if you line the dot up with your socket dot, there we go. Now it won't fall off. Damn. Stay right there. There we go. Oh. I got the black lung. All that grinding. Alright, I'm going to lower this down just a little bit. See if we can get a little closer. I'm going to run out of jack. That wasn't well planned out. Now what am I going to do? Hold on. Let me get a 2x. Be right back. Yeah, I fixed that. You always fix stuff with 2x4s. I ran my screw out. You see that? Your jack has that screw in. I had that screw run out too far, so when I let down my jack, I ran out of stroke, which always happens to me. So now, put the block in there, lower the jack down, put the screw back in, jacked the jack way up. Come on, light. Damn it. Yeah. So now, we're going to jack it back up, get our light situated here. There we go. Get our 2x4 out. Lower the jack off. Get it closer to our shackle. Oh, don't kick out on me. Alright. Little hammer taps. Those are going to be pretty close. I think that'll work. I may take these shackles back off and cut the ends off in the saw, get all that old weld off, but I think that'll work. I may lower it down, get a little more weight on it just to see what it does. But anytime you have a swinging shackle like this and you got weight on it, you don't want it straight up and down. You want it kicked back, because when that spring compresses it, it'll swing it. So if it's straight up and down, you get a rougher ride out of it, because with that shackle up straight up and down like that with a load on it, and then you go to compress, it takes more to kick it over. You want it leaned back just a little bit towards the top side of the shackle. You want it leaned back towards the axle housing itself. So I'm gonna lower this down just a little bit and let me see what it does. I think I like that right there. I ain't gonna cut anything off of them. I'm just gonna grind that weld off and stick them back on here, because this spring does have weight on it because it's on the jack. So that shackle should sit right there. If I grind that weld off, I can weld these back to the square tube on the frame, and then we'll come back and put a plate, maybe a kind of a triangulated plate to strengthen all that up a little bit. What do you think here, Goober? What do you think, Goober? You don't care, you just want me to throw the ball. That's all he cares about, is his ball. Well, it's time to try out our new welder machine. Welding lead undone, got her plugged in, pulled out here. I am out of room here. It's like working in a shed. Getting claustrophobic out in this bitch. Alright, enough pissing and moaning. I do it to myself. Too many projects, too many trucks. You don't have to have that many trucks. Kind of addicted, I guess. Alright, should have turned the gas on while I was standing up. Yeah. Alright, I guess I'll put you guys on top of that welder. How about that? Yeah, there you go. Turn her on. Don't need those where we're going. I don't need that. Mind your way. You want to see that? Too bad. I'm gonna have to learn my settings on this. Bear with me. And that freaking light. Thank you. Thank you. Alright. See if I can't burn myself up. I'm just looking to tack it right now. Just looking to get some good tacks on it. Make sure it's flush with the front of the frame here. It's touching there. Not quite touching here. We're going to have to let the jack down a little more. I don't want to get this one tacked. Just want to get it tacked. Oh. You know what I didn't do? We were in test mode last night. Open up here. Working on that gas valve. I had my feed rollers undone, so when I pulled the trigger, I wasn't feeding the wire out. Now we ought to be able to weld. Yeah. Why ain't I getting gas now? That's not good. Okay, let's try this again. Fiddled with the gas valve. Let me see if it works, and I'll show you what I did. Not that anybody cares. Got the gas on, water on. Okay, did it again. Hold on. I'm stunned. That's a little better. You want more wire? That's fair. Alright. Where's my thing, your bobber? There it is. Definitely wants more wire that way. Let me do the spinnerini. All right. Good enough for now. There you go. Turn the gas off. All right. Light, please. Thank you. I'll have to get my flashlight out of my pocket. Hold on. That little feller right there, that is your solenoid valve. This brass body has a couple ports in it where your gas comes through, and this has a coil on it with a plunger inside it. And that plunger is spring loaded, so when everything's off, you're not pulling the trigger, boom. It's got a little, that metal plunger has a rubber end on it, and it closes off that port, that gas port. When you hit the trigger, it energizes the coil, pulls the plunger back, and compresses the spring, lets the gas through. Well, yesterday the spring wasn't pushing hard enough on the plunger to close the gas off, so you turn the gas on and you can hear it come out of the nozzle, the end of the gun. Come on. Anyway, I took it apart, pulled the spring, spread it apart a little bit, and needed a shim, a real small shim. So I took a real small O-ring, the same size as the OD of the plunger, where it would slide, put it on there for a shim. But once you tighten that coil down on that valve, it kind of compresses that O-ring and it holds that plunger. Too much tension on it, so I think that's what my problem was, because I wasn't getting any gas coming to the end of my nozzle. So I just loosened the two screws that hold the coil to the valve body, loosen it up so this O-ring doesn't get compressed and hold on there. Anyway, boring, I know, whatever. That's what's going on. And I know this welder was destined to be mine. You know why? Because it's probably a piece of junk. Hey, it's home. It's finally found its home. Anyway, it welds all right, other than the gas and the nozzle's junk. But we can buy parts for it, unlike the Harbor Freight. You can't buy parts for them. All right, I got everything back together, welded up, tools put away. This phone going off, dog walking in front of me. This is what I ended up with on this bracketry here. Tied that all in real nice. Got my step back on. A short guy like me has got to have a step to get up here to work on this truck, because I'm only 4'3". All right, back to what I was trying to say. Battery went dead. I got my step back on. I'm only 4'3", so I need something to step up on. Anyway, all done. Can't see it. Steering linkage is better. I'll come out here in the morning and we'll do a little testing on it, and we'll get a little better lighting. We can see what I did to this thing. But it did doing a little measuring on it. For some reason the driver's side sits just a tad lower than the passenger, but it lowered it 1.5 inches, and I need to check out my drive line angle and stuff like that, see if that made a difference. From here it looks like it did better. Anyway, I'll be back in the morning. We'll get a little better light on this. Let's take Harry for a little drive to the church and back. See if it does any better on the road. Not terrible. Could always be better. These are not DOT approved tires anyway, but every other lug cut out. Oh well. I need to get different front lockouts. Come on. Still a little cold. Lockouts that have the auto mode in them. You got lock and you got auto. With this 205 transfer case in here, even when you're in two-wheel drive, the front drive shaft likes to spin just a little bit because of the 90 weight in the transfer case likes to just kind of loosely spin the front drive shaft. Well, when those lockouts see a little bit of movement, it locks them in. So my front drive shaft spins full speed. Every time you go down the road, it spins full speed. Yeah, a little better look at the shackle mounts. Where I turned them, they were like this. I turned them back, and that lowered the front end down 1.5 inches. Made that little bracket there, the brace or whatever. And we still got a little work to do on this front end. I've never finalized everything, but putting that pitman arm in there has got my steering in a lot better angle, and my drive shaft angle is a little bit better. it always sit up a little bit nose high anyway, so I was glad to lower it down. I'm gonna have to move my shock, my upper mount over here, because you can see the shock is laid back. The front end used to be, I had the swinging shackle back here, it had a shackle reversal, and it worked okay when I first built it, but it would flex so hard it would push the tire all the way back here into the fender. And whenever I was trying to drag a log with the boom and it picks the front end up off the ground, the front tires off the ground, the suspension would droop so far it actually pulled the dry shaft slip yoke apart, so I had to put a limiting chain on it, and it just acted goofy with that shackle reversal. So I just swapped it where the leaf spring's in the mount here and put the shackle up front, so that shoved the axle farther forward, thus taking my shock and laying it back. So we need a shock to be straight up and down. So I'm gonna cut that off, and then I'm gonna take the factory bump stop off and build me one that comes down and actually works as a bump stop, because now that we've lowered it, my exhaust is a little bit closer to the dry shaft, and only got that much room, 1.5 inches before it hits the header collector. So we're gonna have to put a bump stop on there, get it flexed up to max height that I can go and measure it, and we'll build us a bump stop, at least for this side. The other side, I'm not quite so worried about it, because it's not gonna ever contact anything. But anyway, it doesn't sit perfectly level in the front. It is kind of crooked. It's hard to tell in my unlevel driveway. It may look okay here, but if I go off a tape measure, the passenger side is probably, I'd say inch and a half taller than the driver. And you can tell by the way that the shackle hangs, the passenger shackle is more leaned back than this one. And I even tried to fudge this bracket back just a little bit to get more angle in the shackle, and measuring where I put the rear hanger on the frame, they are in the exact same spot. This front cross member is in the exact same spot, but if you pull measurement from that hanger to this hanger, and on the other side, is driver's side as well, there's a little bit of difference there. This frame is kind of tweaked. I think it's been in a bad wreck. Another indication is back here on the frame. When I first got this and took the bed off, the frame had been modified back here. It almost looked like somebody took a long bed and made a short bed out of it, but when I really think about it, I think the truck had been wrecked and they just took a straight frame rear half and put on this front half, and it was wrecked on both ends. Anyway, it works fine for me. It's not a show truck. It does what I intended it to do. So I'm going to end this video here, and I'm going to try to scrounge up some shock tabs and stuff for the front shock mounts and the bump stops, and then but that'll have to be enough for another day. I've got to go help my old man do some electrical work at his house, and that's going to take up most of my days. So, well, I got the tank in. Old Harry struggled with that thing, got it in there, got a new sending unit in it. Luckily for me, being a hoarder that I am, I had to reuse the original ring that holds the sending unit in, because the one that came with it wasn't big enough. Could you not see that when you packaged it? Whatever. So I've been siphoning gas out of the old boat tank here, using the pickup and my clear tube that I like using, because you can see it when you go to suck on it through your suck hole. And I got a little greedy, and I say, oh, one hose ain't fast enough. Let's go with the second one put in there. And Just having a little hard time getting it to stay siphoned, primed, whatever you want to say. Yeah, I got a mouthful of it. Tastes real good when you got a velo in your mouth. Yeah, but this tank came out of my pontoon boat, and I always had trouble with it in my boat. I'd switch over to this tank. I had two tanks in it, and I'd switch over to this one, and the damn thing would never stay running. So I took it out. One tank's enough for us, but I ran it in another vehicle or two, just getting it home or moving around the yard or whatever, and it always has a little bit of issue picking up. And this, I siphoned out of this tube, and it ran in here for a good ways, and it still has quite a bit of gas in it, but you can just see the air bubbles coming through there the whole time. There's something wrong with that pickup tube on that thing, but we'll forget about it, and we'll put it in a barn, and we'll use it again for something else and have trouble with it. But it stopped siphoning out, so I'm gonna have to use this other hose again that I filled my mouth up with gas. So let me get at it. Running on its own gas tank again. Good deal. We ain't got that stupid boat tank in there anymore. We got plenty of room for activities and whatnot. Guess I'm gonna put this thing back in the barn over in its hidey hole. At least something went good today.